Welcome to the video series, How to Build Your Food Truck with me, Frank Baltierrez, where I show you how to build your own food truck from A to Z. We've been working on Big Red, and I've also done a couple adjustments to my food truck being rolling burritos. One of them I talked on my previous video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been a fellow subscriber, thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, for sharing the videos, and all those cool messages that you guys do send me in emails on how the videos have helped you build your own food truck. Those are always nice to receive and see the pictures of you guys actually building your own food trucks based on the videos. Any questions, please drop them in the video because I do answer them myself. But in the last video, if you haven't watched it, I talked a little bit about how my propane regulator on rolling burritos was acting up on me. Slap it around a couple of times, but I ended up changing it, and I'm going to show you the final result of how I changed that. And to be honest, it gave us a scare because we did an event the day that I changed it and it wasn't working. Like literally we were scared. We're like, darn man, it doesn't work. The propane isn't firing up, the griddle isn't firing up, the burner isn't firing up. We're like going left, going right, going left, going right, and it just didn't work. And then finally, I guess it just needed to get some flow in there after like a minute or so. It worked perfectly. So, but it got us scared for a couple minutes. But just know that if you are changing this out, this is a very important part of your food truck because it operates all your cooking equipment if you're running propane powered equipment. There also is electric cooking equipment, but I use propane ones. Also, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the flooring. As you can see here on Big Red, we are installing the coin gray flooring. It gets a little bit tedious, the part that we're doing right now, because we're talking about like cutting all this stuff on the edges. You want to make sure you trim it as close as you can. On another video, on the previous build that I did, actually I took one of your suggestions and ran it on top inside the wall. This one I'm not doing it that way, but I am trimming here, so you have to be really accurate on how you cut when it meets the wall and it meets the floor. So we're going to be talking about those couple things. Again, thank you for, that was a long intro, man. Sorry about that. But let's get started on these cool little details. I also did see another food truck yesterday that I thought it was pretty cool. I know it's pricey, the one that I saw, just because I know how much these things cost to build and to operate. So again, Frank Baltierrez, How to Build Your Food Truck. Sorry for yapping your ear off. Let's get started right away. Hello there, fellow food truckers. Look at that. If this one was open, I would give them some business. I'm here at the local hardware store. I've said it in a few videos, Menards. It's a local Midwest company, and I think they're in other places of the country. They're just not as big as the HD Home Depot. But this one right here, Team Fib BBQ. Look at their setup. It's nice. They got two cooking things up there, the two vents. So they got two hoods in there. And then they got this smoker right outside. If they were open, for sure, they would get my business. Get a pulled pork sandwich. But if you're in the Chicago area, I think this is out in Batavia, visit these people if they're open. And if not, I'm going down south here pretty soon. So if you guys have a food truck going down towards Florida, let me know. I'll visit you guys and I'll stop by. But this one's a nice little setup. That's like 50, 60, 70 grand right there. Easy. Over 80 maybe with this smoker right here. But let's take a tour of it on this side. Look at that smoker. I've never seen one of these. Maybe this is used for here. Oh, they got another door over here. It's probably a restroom. Maybe they have a restroom right here. Fibs only. They have a restroom. That thing is massively expensive now. It changes the whole setup. But again, give your food trucker some business if you're a fellow food trucker as well, because we work hard in this weather. There it is, BBQ done right at the hardware store. Again, like I said, it's Menards, a Home Depot competitor, but not really a competitor because they sell a different type of quality in my opinion. But there you go. Again, Frank Baltierrez, How to Build Your Food Truck. Just driving around and I saw this one and I wanted to record it so you guys can see a nice trailer, and it has the canopy that comes out right there as well. This is for that follow-up video, just in case you guys thought that I didn't change it out. I did take it out. This is that regulator that I link in the description. It handles about 300 and some thousand BTUs, 9984XF, and that is the actual orifice that goes into my propane cooking equipment, my propane powered cooking equipment, being my griddle and being my burner. And this is the one that I took off, and I'm gonna replace it with this one right here. It's just a tad smaller just because I do not need that much BTUs. I only need maybe about 150,000 BTUs in my trailer. This one handles 262, and then this one handles 360. Don't quote me on it. Look at the description and it'll tell you exactly how many BTUs this one handles. But I'm swapping it out just so you guys can see it. This was what I talked about in my previous video, so I decided to change it out. So that's the swap out. Let me show you that setup of that new propane regulator that's gonna go there. This is how I did it. I did that little elbow that I was telling you guys about, a 3/8 to 3/4 reducing elbow, a little 3/8 with a 2-inch nipple, and this is that new Fairview regulator. It handles in the 200,000 some BTUs. The one I had was about 362,000, roughly right around there. Don't quote me on the exact number. But if you can see on there, the comparison is this one's red because there's no tanks obviously connected to it. The one that I had on there was white. So that means it tells me that it's defective, it was faulty, it was glitchy, it's giving me problems, so might as well change it out. But here it is. And then I just covered this up because it rained just a few minutes ago. So I'm gonna take that off, and that's that nipple that I'm telling you that goes to the inside of the trailer. And we're just gonna spin it on and we're gonna be done. Easy, easy. Out with the old, in with the new. This is that new regulator that I swapped out. I actually did it just because it would make me feel safer at events in the aspect of not having any glitches, because without propane, you cannot be cooking. At least for me. If you have electrical equipment, then obviously it's different. These are my 2 propane tanks. I actually switched this out. I put the big red one back, and then I put this one, the 2 rolling burritos in. I also swapped out the pigtails. You guys can see these are the original ones. And this like little indicator never really worked. So to me, I was like, you know what? That's a waste of space there, so to speak. So I just went straight pigtail, and I'll link those in the description. These are the ones that I use, the braided stainless steel ones. And there's that new propane regulator. You guys can see it has a 3/8 by 2-inch nipple. That's what I used. And tomorrow I'm gonna take it out, and I presume and I assume everything's gonna work perfectly. So let's see tomorrow. So now that I have a little bit of spare time, I wanted to come out here and start working on the floor. I'm not going to get it done in one day. I wasn't even trying to, not even 2 days. It's probably gonna be piece by piece by piece. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue here. This is what I'm using. It's called Roberts 7399 Universal. They have a universal, and then this one's just brand new that I saw, Ultimate. I grabbed it because I was like, that looks interesting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of that with a little trowel, and I'm gonna do this piece right here, and then I'm gonna let it dry for about 24 hours. Then I'm gonna move to the next part, the next part, the next part, the next part. So as you can see, I'm in no rush to finish the flooring. I'm gonna do it piece by piece by piece. I just wanted to show you what I'm using right there. And the main thing is aligning it, and then you're gonna have to cut around the corners, just trim around there, all around that side, that side. Obviously right here, you guys can see it fit perfectly. And then back here, I made it so I don't have to cut anything. You guys can see it's right on the plywood. It's a perfect, nice, snug fit right there on the end of the trailer where the gate is, the back. So that's what I'm working on there. And again, that's the adhesive that I'm using, Roberts 7399 Universal. As I said, this one is Ultimate. It's a brand new one with advanced moisture technology. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. So there we go. Let me get to it. Like I said, I'm just gonna do a little patch right there, and then I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna come back out here, and then I'm gonna probably do something over there with the condiment table. But other than that, I'm waiting for my aluminum to show up. The guy said he was gonna bring them today or sometime this week, so I'm waiting for that. And then that little piece of FRP is the only thing that's left. Once I get there with that coin gray flooring on that side up there, I'll put that piece in. So I glued this section right here yesterday with that Roberts floor adhesive. I wanted to come out here to see how it dried. Oh my gosh, that's super nice. That's like stuck on there, literally stuck like glue. So I'm gonna move on to this next part right there. I just did it to where that little lip is. This piece I haven't cut because it kind of fit factory finish almost. So I'm gonna start slicing from there all the way down with the utility knife. So as I mentioned, I'm just gonna do a little piece by little piece by little piece but this is really nice. My gosh. I wasn't liking how that adhesive looked because it was really liquidy. I'll show you right now on a small little hyperlapse. But this thing glued nice. My God, it's almost like crazy glue. So let's move on to the next part. Let me kind of hyperlapse a little bit of what I'm doing so you guys can see it. But I'm moving on to the next part, which will be this little section right there. So let's get moving. Before I end the video here, I do want to thank you, first of all, for watching, for subscribing, for commenting all your questions and comments and your feedback on the videos. I'm hyperlapsing through all these parts of the work to kind of speed it up. One thing that I did switch is I stopped using the 7399 adhesive by Roberts because it was really runny. It almost looked kind of like watery. It did grab well on that back right corner that I initially started with. However, I just didn't like how the consistency of the adhesive was. It was, like I said, it was real runny, real liquidy. So I went back to the 7350, which I linked here on my Amazon paid links. And also I'll link everything else that I use. That way it makes it super easy for you guys to find any type of materials that you need, because up next we're going to start with the plumbing, and then we're going to go with the electrical, putting the outlets and the switches and connecting the hood so it's nice and powered up, as well as a breaker panel. And then I'm going to connect the temporary power so then I can work in here with the lights. I do need to finish up this roof. As I mentioned, I'm waiting for this white aluminum sheets to show up. Eventually this guy will bring them. And if you're also looking for a more one-on-one type of consultation, I have offered it before. It just depends if we can, coordinate a time, then it would work for both of us. You can send me an email to rollingburritosfoodtruck@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to help you out. If you need a little bit more guidance, I could do like a 15-minute, 30-minute, an hour type of deal, just to help you guys out. If you guys do need a little bit more guidance, like more of a specific question that you have. Again, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm out of here, and we'll see you on the next one, because we're going to the electrical, the ceilings, the lights, and then the plumbing and a little bit of the gas. And I'll have this one for sale, just so you guys know. Big Red is for sale.